If you're thinking about getting into photography, um, you would think that choosing the camera would probably be the one thing that you should look for. Well, that's not necessarily true. I started out with a Canon 60D. It's a mid-range camera. I just wanted to show really you don't need a real high-end camera to do professional work. It has an 18.1 megapixel sensor. It's a APS-C size sensor, which means it's not a full frame. So we've probably all heard about a full frame camera, which I'm filming right now. But this one is good enough to actually just work with, to start you out with. If you're going to start in real estate or landscape photography, I recommend you get a lens like this. I should actually be using it. A camera like this one, the 60D. I'm going to be selling this one soon. You don't need the most expensive equipment. You can get by with whatever you can really afford. Even if it's a matter of starting out with your phone and go from there. You don't need the most expensive equipment. You could just start off with a mid-range camera like the 60D, and you can get a lens like this. It's not a Canon lens. You could start off with a Canon lens, but just go get something that you can afford. If it's a low budget, this is, I think the camera, I can probably sell it for about $600 Canadian. This might be maybe another 600. I have to look it up. You may want to get a lens like this. This is a Takana. I'm not sure if that actually shows, but I don't recommend getting one of those fisheye lenses. To me, they don't look right. If you want to get it to play around with, that's fine. I know a lot of real estate agents don't like that look. When I started out in this, that's one of the questions I was asked. Do you use that? We definitely don't want something like that. And I said, no, we actually use a wide angle lens. But what I'd like to also tell people that with a wide angle lens, wider it is, more it seems to push out.
Hey, how much farther is it?
So that's something to really think about, because a lot of people think that when you're taking a picture, it's almost like what you see. And of course, it's completely different depending on which lens you're using.
Not it? Are you seeing what I'm seeing?
I'm working today with my mirrorless camera. It's my third camera. Well, technically, actually, it's my fourth camera. The Sony A7R3. Now, they've already come out with an R5. It's 4K 30 frames. So it's great on a gimbal. But what you should be focusing on a little bit more, the lens. So really, like I said, it really doesn't matter what camera you're using. So now I'm using, for my Sony camera, which I'm using right there, is the G Master the G Master 1635, which is almost the same. I know when you put them camera to camera, they do look different, of course. Pretty close to the top of the line. They just came out with a version 2 to this lens, but I'm completely happy with this lens. I like to edit with Lightroom and Photoshop, and that's what I'm used to. For video, I'm using Premiere. So I am mostly with Adobe, which I like. It works for me, but many of you might want to try to use some other kind of programs out there. There are many different type of programs. Some are free, some you gotta pay up front, some are subscription. Adobe is a subscription based, but saying that, it doesn't mean that it'll work for you. So maybe try out some other free programs, but you gotta remember too, you do pay for what you get. So hey, remember that. At least when you're starting out, you might just want to try something for free and then go from there. From that, you can learn from all those, from the free stuff, and then you can go up from there. You can also help develop your skills by maybe shadowing.
There's someone following me.
Another photographer, but you can develop your skills mostly. You develop your skills mostly just by go and do it.
Just do it.
but you could go take some courses in it. You can go take, of course, there's some online courses. The way I really learned are through a lot of other photographers, videographers that are on YouTube.
YouTube. Wow.
And called YouTube University, and that's how I really started out, and I learned a lot from other YouTubers out there, and they offer a lot of tutorials.
Just do the tutorial.
You're the tutorial.
So many out there. You can just type in the search and you can find so many out there that can help you for any problem that you might have. You should follow their work on Instagram, on YouTube, subscribe to them, because I just want to show that you don't need the best or the most expensive camera to go do professional work. Just remember, if you're getting paid for the work that you're doing, you're a professional, basically.